music, entertainment news, and information on career opportunities, log on to mtgradioonline.com or mindthegap.com. That's Mind the Gap. MTG Radio, keeping you posted.
Welcome back, guys. That was Say I Won't by Lecrae feat Andy Mineo in our Hot Topic segment.
Yes.
And it is that time you've all been waiting for. It's our favourite part of the show, Hot Topics.
Yes.
So we are going to look at something that has come to light and has been very devastating. Not only millions of, supporters or football fans feel really awful about it, but the general public at large. This is the FIFA scandal, which has created an uproar. Audrey, talk to me.
It's created more than an uproar, I would say. I'm sure you've all heard it over this last week and probably this coming week, as I think the inquiry kicked off today. So according to BBC News, on the 29th of May, FIFA Football's governing body has been hit by 2 corruption inquiries.
Oh boy.
7 FIFA leaders, I would say, have been arrested in Switzerland at the request of the US authorities after a total of 14 people were indicted for corruption.
Wow.
So hours later, the Swiss launched their own inquiry into the process for the 2018 and 2022 World Cups.
Okay.
So today we're not actually going to focus on the details of this case. As I said, the inquiry I think kicked off today, and there are still a lot of things not known about the actual case.
Yeah.
So we are going to focus on one thing today, or one aspect of it. And this is something that I'm sure we've all had experience of, in some form. Yeah, in some form or shape, whether in school or work or, I don't know, just between friends. What do you do, or how do you respond to selfish ambition? And I mean this in the sense that, when there is a group or a team of people who are, and I put in quotation marks, bosses in their own right, and they have achieved so much in whatever lane that may be, or whatever field or industry that may be in. What do you do when they cannot work together because they feel that they are bosses and that they should be recognized for what they've done alone?
Have we become so self-sufficient that the concept of working as a team or working together to achieve a common goal is no longer necessary?
That is a very good question. I feel that nowadays we have to be self-sufficient. A lot of things we hear about are being independent, being on top, being a winner. And even in schools, you must have the top grades and be in the highest sets. And this is a great thing, don't get me wrong. But it is usually at the expense of those struggling or those in lower sets in the class. And I find that strange because teamwork is a social skill which is fundamental to the development or growth of people.
Right.
And the main thing about teamwork, the key principle of teamwork, is working with others.
Exactly.
So for me, I think what most people fail to see is that teamwork builds leadership. The way that I see things going on, I feel like a lot of people think leadership is taking all the glory and being in the spotlight and being the one who has to be seen as making all the right choices or the things which affect the whole team.
Yes.
When in fact it's the opposite. I watched a clip recently of Joe Osteen, I think it was a few years ago, and he quoted Matthew 6:24, and it says, "So that your giving may be in secret, then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you." So he was basically kind of relating this quote and saying that sometimes you have to be content with being invisible and invaluable, or you could kind of say in the background, so that you can push or pour out into someone so that they can shine or they can achieve what they want to achieve.
Yes.
And this is true, but does that work in a team? Because I think if you're working for yourself or you're working independently, that is very plausible. But in a team where you're all supposed to support each other and work together, can you be invisible, or can you be invaluable? And sometimes you do all the work and you do deserve the credit, but you are overlooked because you are seen as the understudy, the one below the one that's supposed to lead. So does that mean that you are given permission for your team members to slack? If that makes sense. And being invisible and invaluable means that you are at your best at all times, because you have to be. Because if you're invisible, it kind of means that no one's seeing you. But if you're at your best at all times, that means that you are pushing the team forward, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So you have to be at your best. You ask questions, you take notes, you do what you need to do, like you're working for God, and do all the work. Okay, not all the work, but work hard and do your bit, do your part. And I think that God sees that. God will see you trying your hardest. He will see you making the notes, taking, asking the right questions, doing the right research, and at that time, or at a time when it suits Him, He will reward you. And in that sense, you don't have to step on someone else to get to the top, because you're doing what you need to do.
Yes.
And that's what teamwork is all about, I think. Sometimes you do have to kind of maybe be in the background, but it doesn't mean that because you're in the background, you're not being seen.
I agree with that, Audrey. I think two things about what you've just said. The first one is, especially most of us who've gone to school, college, university, we have to do a lot of teamwork.
Yes.
And it can be so jarring when you don't have the opportunity to pick who's in your team, and you get a whole group of people who I don't understand why even enrolled on a course, because they're not even doing anything. No. And then you have to do all their work. Yeah. And sometimes you do feel like I should be getting credit for this. It's meant to be a team effort, and we're going to be marked as a team. Yeah. But I'm doing everyone's work. Yeah. So, and then your human sort of side kicks in, and you think, no, it's not fair. I'm going to go speak to the teacher. I should be getting the credit for it.
Or you're getting quarrels with the guy or the girl because they're not picking up your phone when they should be. You're not meeting when you should be.
Exactly. Advice. So if we're looking at it from the physical point of view, it is very difficult. Yeah. Everything we're saying is true, I guess, but to physically put it into practice, I guess that's when the difficulty comes. Yeah. Because we've all experienced it. Yes. And it can be a struggle. However, for those of us who are believers, we have to understand that we are working as if we're working for Almighty God, and God is who we aim to please. So if we take a step back and be like, okay, so and so are not doing their part, and I'm not gonna throw my toys out the pram and get upset about it, but I'm working as if I'm working for Almighty God, so He sees what I'm doing. So I guess if we look at it from that point of view, then working as a team wouldn't be so difficult as it is, as it's made out to be. And they say that two hands are better than one. United we stand and divided we fall. But I'm definitely a believer in unity and working as a team. It brings me to something else actually. And this is being content with just who you are. Sometimes we look at how other people are living and we want their lifestyle. If we're talking about teamwork, for example, you might have a group of people and someone might be more efficient than you, or they know what they're doing, and it seems like, whoa, they've got it all on lock, and we end up sometimes doing things that we never thought we were capable of doing just to get that thing that we want, or just to become like Tom or Jerry. I used to love those cartoons, I do say. And I have realised something in life. It's not about how fast you run, but it's about the purpose for your race and the outcome. And we need to understand that you have your own story to write. You need to realise that you are unique and different to your neighbour. The truth is, competing with others is not the secret. No. But as I mentioned earlier, it's about becoming the best version of yourself. once I guess that is acknowledged, certain decisions made would not be at the detriment of others, but rather they will help people reach their potential and allow them to also become the best version of themselves.